Hello, everybody. Green Effect Podcast, Season 3, Episode 18. This is another first thing in the morning edition of the Green Effect Podcast. Just kind of woke up and we be getting to some issues. First thing we talk about, this federal government public civil servant strike. Pros and cons, man. I talk about two sides of the story. I get where they're going and I talk about it, right? So we're going to look at it from two sides of the story, and hopefully I don't get my ass audited for the next every year for the rest of my life. Housing. All right, where are things? Where are things going? I talk about, can you just picture this? Tiffyboy and JT in a hot tub over a glass of wine trying to figure out the country's problems. One wants to raise rates, one wants to spend money nonstop, and just use his credit card for home renovations. Man, fly on the wall. I hope they're wearing swim trunks. Finally, I want to talk. Let's just deal with this, man. Going firm on offers. What does it mean? What should you know? What is the right answer? Because I'm still running into clients who've been told by professionals that they can go firm on an offer. Okay. Let's just talk about that because there's a way to word it and there's a way to understand it. Oh, I'm getting all worked up. I don't know if it's talking about JT and Tiffyboy or, talking about firm offers. All right, let's get going.
Welcome to the Green Effect Podcast. Finance, life, business, and everything in between. And now, your host, Stephen Green.
Hello, everybody. Episode 18, Season 3, Green Effect Podcast. Another roll out of bed and get a podcast done sort of day. It's legit like first thing Wednesday morning. Up late the last couple of days, trying to help out clients with last minute things and trying to help them through what's going on with their applications and just a weird time. So, here I am, got the coffee going, have not even eaten breakfast yet, and I want to get this podcast out. So let's get rolling. I got a few things I want to talk about and get off my chest here. So let's talk about this labor strike that's going on right now. Okay. So it's all the public workers. I might get this wrong, but 50,000 of them, whatever, civil servants, federal government, and it's an interesting one. And I have opinions both ways, and at the risk of saying anything wrong and being audited for the rest of my life every single year, I think there's legitimately merit to both sides, and it's going to be a historic ruling. It's a historic collective bargaining agreement that is signed, and let me explain why. Okay, because this is complex. This is not a normal thing. Okay, so at the heart of it are three things, and it sounds like this is where they're stuck. And whoever blinks first, and whatever result it is going to have a ripple effect right through our economy, jobs, everything. So three things: pay. Okay, so they're demanding. The last I heard was like 9 or 10% increases. I don't know all the intricacies there, but it doesn't matter. They want a pay increase, and that's fair, right? They want it mandated that they have work from home a certain number of days per week. And finally, job protection, so that things can't be outsourced, etc. So let's talk about these items because, again, there's merit to all of it, and it is now, I think this is coming to head because it's where our world has come from COVID. So pay increase, yeah, everybody wants that. I get it. you are a union, so, you do have mandated pay increases. It is what it is. I don't think that's the top issue, but, you know, they want increases. And I'm very certain that the government's got to look for the money to give them because I don't even know if they friggin' have it, to be honest with you. I'm sure they do. I mean, everyone has, every government, ours in particular, has an Epson printer in the back. They can print more money, no big deal. But nevertheless, I digress. So, this work from home thing, okay, this is really the big one because let's look at this from both sides because I think that's the important thing here. We have to understand both sides of this equation. So, let's look at it from a government worker's perspective. Okay. You've had now 2 or 3 years getting used to working from home. You've probably got your whole family life working around that. Okay. Fridays you do laundry. Mondays is when you take your mother to a doctor's appointment. Maybe you're getting used to leaving early on Friday, working from the road because you're taking your kid to a sports tournament. Okay. You probably have worked your life around these new arrangements. So when the government says to you that, well, you got to get back to work, well, that it's going to be a bit of a problem, right? Again, you've worked your whole life around this, and most likely, maybe not, for the honest folk out there, then you know what? You probably have become better at your job because you're able to balance off your work life stuff. And listen, I think work life balance is a complete crock, but regardless, but you found a way to balance off your life. So your argument might be, hey, I'm a civil servant. I work for CRA. I'm good in my job. I really don't need to come back, right? Anything that we can do in person, send me an email. Maybe you're a little bit more of an introvert and you really don't care about bumping into people in the hall and chatting about work and what is it? Idea smithing to develop better ways of doing things. I'm not really sure accounting has a whole ton of creative thinking because it's numbers, it's theory, it's whatever. Anyway, so if you're a worker, you're like, hey man, look, I want it mandated. I can work from home a day or two a week or whatever they're asking for, right? I don't want anyone to have control over that. I want it, period, end of story. Okay? So I get that. Dude, I get that. I work from home. As you guys know, I'm self-employed. I work from home. I could never work a 9 to 5. Now, I've also been self-employed or commission based for almost 12, 13 years. So I've had a larger body of work, we'll say, to really entrench that into my life. But I get it. Hey, man, I'm not coming. If an employer told me right now, and of course I'm self-employed, so it wouldn't happen. But when I was working for RBC, if they said, Steven, as a mortgage specialist, you must be in the branch 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, dude, really? I'm out of here. Like, sorry, but it's not going to happen. Okay. So as an employee, I get it. 100% I get it. Totally. Now, let's flip it over to the other side. Let's look at the employer perspective. Okay. And I used to be a manager. Okay. So, as a manager, your job is to manage your team. You've got personalities, you've got different performance levels, you've got deadlines and you got to review your employee. Like, you got to be a manager. So, when something is mandated, you must do this for your employees. It takes away the ability to manage. The word I'm skirting around is control. It is, from a big picture perspective, but as a manager, here's a good example. Okay, hear me out on this. So you got little Susie and you got little Freddie. All right. For those of you who know, I used to coach competitive volleyball, and those were always the nicknames I'd use for kids. We were talking about as examples. Anyway, little Susie and little Freddie here. Okay, Freddie's a top performer. Uh, he does great work. He works his 9 to 5, but you know what? No errors. He doesn't cause me a lot of problems. You know what, Freddie? Go ahead and work from home. You know what? Assuming there is no mandated work from home. Freddie, you know what? You work really well on your own. I don't have any issues with you. We can communicate well. You have really good communication skills. Go work from home. So it's not a reward. It's that I don't need you here. You can do your job effectively from home. Okay. Then we have little Susie. All right. Little Susie is not very good at independent work. Okay. She works from, we allow her to work from home, but her work is done with errors. Maybe we have people complaining about things. Um, maybe she has performance issues where we've addressed it through improvement plans or whatever. Well, I need little Susie at work. I need to help her. Okay. I need to support her more. I need to make sure that the work she's doing, I can coach her accordingly. Well, guess what, little Susie? You can't work from home. Okay. So, in this world right now, as a manager, we can do that. A manager can do that. You introduce mandates. Little Susie could be a complete screw up, and she still gets to work from home on Fridays the same as little Freddie. So, now, do we have bad managers that are going to abuse that? Sure. I'm sure they do right now. However, big picture, as a manager, you need, and I'm still skirting the word control, you still need the ability to manage your people properly. Call it control, call it not. So this is what's at stake here. And I can tell you right now, every bloody union employer is sitting in front of the TV with a box of popcorn watching this go down. Because and now I'm going back to generalizing everything. But if the civil servants, get mandated stuff like that, get ready, because that's going to be right across the board. So I know I have friends at RBC, for example, and they've mandated back, and this is in the media, so I'm not like telling secrets or whatever, but they mandated back 3 days a week, right? That is the culture. Now, non-union, right? So they can kind of do what they need to do, but I can say, having worked from home and the ability to work from home, I really think there needs to be a compromise around, we'll give you your work-life balance. Fine, take it, whatever. But mandate, that, I struggle with it, but I also understand it. And if there's a mistrust, and I don't know, this next comment might be unfair, but it's a person that's never been in a union before. Is the mistrust generated because I'm in a union, I'm to be protected and stuff like that? Is it necessarily a real mistrust? Or is it a union that just wants it mandated so they get it? Like, you know what I mean? And again, it's not a slam against unions. It's not a slam against employers. It's just, there just seems to be a bit of a mistrust there. And I don't know where that comes from. Okay. I'm not a government employee. Okay. I know government employees, great people, so I don't have anything bad to say, but I always think about this: unions were developed and created back in, I'm gonna get my timeline wrong here, early 1900s, when we had industrial workers that were being killed on the job because they were making like no money. They were laborers and they needed protection against owners. Okay. Now, obviously, times evolve. Are unions really, is there a place for unions to work on mandating work from home? I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question, guys. I'm not here to slam unions. I'm asking questions because when 150, 175,000 civil servants walk out, there are questions to be asked. Okay. Now, the third thing that I haven't even started talking about is job security. Okay. Because now, on the topic of mistrust, if I'm a union worker and my employer uh, has all these mandated things, work from home, whatever, what is stopping them necessarily from outsourcing? And that has become popular. It really, really has become popular, right? In times when people are trying to save money, that has become popular. So if you have amazing jobs with a 12% pay increase over 3 years, and you're mandated to work from home a day or two a week, and all this other stuff, and I think they have pretty good benefits. I might be wrong, I don't know, but they have all this. What's from stopping the feds to saying, you know what, we'll outsource this elsewhere? I really think there's a big problem with that. I can't imagine a Canadian federal government, well, actually, now I think of it, Justin Trudeau, who knows, but I can't imagine a federal government would outsource something at half the price elsewhere to another country, right? Where they could arguably save money, maybe risk quality, but again, it's JT, so same guy who said, well, if you want to renovate your house, put it on a credit card, right? and then refinance later. So I guess we got to consider the source a little bit, but it's something where I think the union workers and the union itself, I think they're brilliant. Like they are working, they are looking forward. Okay, it's like they've done the choose your own adventure negotiation style of, let's just look forward and let's cut them off at the pass every possible way they could, right? Let's get what we want, and then make sure we don't lose our jobs, right? So hey man, I don't fault them. I'm like, go for it, right? In the same breath, and I think this is what I'm able to do as a podcast host, I can look at both sides. I get where the federal government's coming from as well, right? This is going to put managers in a tough spot. You may lose arguably some good managers over this. Now what? So, I remember when I was a manager, I told my employees this: look, you're all adults, okay? Now, no one had work from home, right? So, different time, but I remember there was arguments over when I first got to one branch. There was arguments over, well, she gets to take, time to go see her kid, or to take her kid to an appointment, or she takes 4 smoke breaks, or I'm like, for real, guys, you want a cigarette? Go have a friggin' cigarette. Make it quick, all right? But we're all adults here. If it's lined up out the door, don't go for your cigarette, okay? If you need to go pick up your kid or get him to a specialist appointment, let us know in advance and go. As long as it's not, the busy time is busy, go. But, hey, if I ask you to stay 20 minutes later, or we're having an issue, let's balance things out, man. Let's just be a little bit fair. And everyone was good with that. I mean, when you look at it from that perspective. Now, if there were mandated things, which maybe there was, I don't even know, but if you're mandated sick time, all right, well, you're over your sick time. Guess what? Now you're not getting paid. Do you really want it that way? So, I don't know. I look at this whole thing and I'm thinking, man, there's got to be some hardcore mistrust here. Like something's going down. And I can tell you right now, there are companies lined up watching this happen, because it's going to set the precedents going forward everywhere. So let's see what happens. Okay, let's just completely switch topics again. So housing, wow, what a nightmare type time is going on right now. Is there a better way to explain that? Probably. What's old is new again. So let's talk about some markets, in particular the ones that I work in. So Southwestern Ontario, okay, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge. Man, there is nothing to buy. There is nothing to buy. We're back to 10, 15, 20 offers on homes. In particular, if the house is under like 700, 750, it is just ramped up. And I'm going to take full credit for this. Again, I don't care if I got to keep saying this every bloody show, all right? I've been calling this for 8 months, all right? We've had nobody buying homes. We've had nobody selling. Builders have stopped building, and immigration's ramped up. Oh, and side note, maybe this little government strike thing is going to work out well because there's no immigration happening. So maybe it gives the housing market a bit of a relief, because There's no immigration. Nobody can immigrate to Canada right now because the government workers are on strike. Anyway, again, I digress. Let's come on back. So, housing shortage, okay? So, again, 8 months. Nobody buying, nobody selling, nobody building, and high immigration. What the hell did you think was going to happen? I say it again. And let's pick on somebody, okay? Tiff, my bro, you and JT got to sit down in a hot tub somewhere and work this out. This is not going away, okay? You can't let this continue. I don't know the solution. I don't know. But you are now, here's what's happening. Other than all those things I've been mentioning for months, you went extreme. Print money, low rates, go spend. Remember Tiffy? Remember that? Guys, go spend. Rates are going to be low for a long time. Remember that, bucko? We've gone to that extreme. We did what you told us, right? You led the horse to water and we got drunk, okay? Now we're on the other end. High rates, extreme everything. People still want to buy homes. There's generational wealth transferring. So you guys got to solve this. And I don't know the solution. I don't know the solution. Raising rates again is not a solution. It's not. That's going to go, we're going to skip recession and go right to depression. Okay. Statistically, unsecured debt delinquencies are up a little bit. Okay. Mortgages are still relatively stable. So people are paying their mortgages, but we're running into delinquencies on unsecured credit cards, lines of credit, etc. Okay. Now, when you got a prime minister who tells people, just put your home rentals on a credit card and refinance, this scares me a little bit, but something's got to give here, because I'm having conversations with clients again about going firm on an offer and the risks. And I can tell you right now, with a market the way it is, there's a lot less people willing to go firm on offers like there was during the height. So I don't know the solution. Comment below. Let me know what the solution is here. How do we fix this? Do we slow immigration? Not stop it. Do we slow immigration? I don't know. Maybe. Right? Stopped right now. So let's see what happens for the next little while. Right? Okay, finally. Perfect segue. Look, let's just deal with going firm on offers. Okay? So, we're back to this world where clients want to go firm on an offer. My bad. They don't want to, they have to. Okay. What does that mean? That means you're entering into a legal binding contract to purchase a home. And it's unconditional. It doesn't matter if the value comes in less than what you're paying for it. It doesn't matter if there were deficiencies not revealed. It doesn't matter if the bank looks at it after the offer's been accepted firm and declines the client. You have to close on your deal, is what it is. So I'm here to help the industry, okay? I'm here to save all of you, because I run into clients still where mortgage agents, brokers, specialists, professionals, whatever they are today, okay, are telling clients it's okay to go firm. Now, are clients misunderstanding? Yeah, could be. But let's just set the record straight on a podcast. You guys can play it back over and over until it's understood. So when you go to put an offer in, mortgage broker, real estate agent, your mom, friends, nobody can give you an authorization to go firm, and you assume the bank or the lender will finance your mortgage no matter what. A pre-approval, guys, is as good as the paper it's written on. If you get pre-approved, you have to. You really have to. Okay? That's where we rule out any issues with credit, documentation, amount of affordability, stuff like that. That pre-approval is as good as the paper it's written on. Okay? It's not a green light to go firm. So nobody can authorize you to go firm. The pre-approval just helps you establish what you can afford, your credit's good, and your docs are in order. Okay? when you, the client, make your choice to go firm on an offer, which means no conditions, the job of the mortgage broker, real estate agent, and mom, okay, is to really go through, is your choice to go firm a low risk, a medium risk, or a high risk? Okay? Depending on what is explained to you, and it's not just a here's a risk factor, go make your choice, there's usually context behind it. But you've got to take all the information in and then make your choice. Okay? So if you're a low risk, your mortgage broker should, I know I do with my clients, let's look worst case scenario. There's no more room for rainbows and lollipops here. Okay? No more rose-colored glasses. This is the time when you got to be straightforward and honest with your client. Because if something goes wrong, you will lose your deposit probably. Okay, I know there's some things there with that, but you'll probably lose your deposit, and you could get sued for the difference when they resell the house. Okay? So when you're making that choice, a good mortgage broker will go through plan B. What happens if this goes sideways and we can't approve the deal? What happens? Right? What's your plan B? And if you don't have a plan B, you may move from a low risk to a medium risk. So it's time for honesty, right? And I'm not saying scare people away. I try not to scare people away, but in the same breath, you're buying something. You're making the largest purchase of your life. This isn't like which chocolate bar to buy. And if I get it wrong, no big deal. This is a friggin' house, man. Right? So a good broker, a good real estate agent will go through this with you so that you understand exactly what the next steps are. Because the alternative of a broker, and this is a red flag, y'all, seriously, okay? Broker, agent, professional specialist says, yeah, you should be fine. Go ahead and go firm. My God, are you crazy? No. Here are the risks. It is your choice. Let me help you make that choice. Okay? That's how pre-approvals, firm offers, how all that works. Okay? If you have questions, you guys know where to find me. All right. That's enough for today. Whew, still first thing in the morning, man. I got a whole day in front of me, but now I feel better because I got all that off my chest. Hey, like, follow, 5-star review, share with your friends, download our app. I could do this for another hour, just shameless plugs. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Green Effect Podcast. Subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or Google Play so you catch the next episode. And don't forget to leave a review. Much appreciated.